You've probably seen it. A friend posts they just made $2,000 in a week. No job, no product, just an investment opportunity that guarantees results. They say it's legit. They say it's booming. And hey, they already got paid, right? It's the bait. And behind that polished pitch is one of the oldest financial traps in America, the Ponzi scheme. This isn't just another scam story, it's a playbook. In this video, we'll walk you through every step of how Ponzi schemes work in the US, how they hook you, how they grow, and how they finally crash, leaving lives in ruin. If you're serious about protecting your money, your family, and your future, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications right now. Because what you don't know can cost you everything. He doesn't look like a scammer. He looks like success. Tailored suit, polished shoes, gold watch catching the light. He flashes that $1 million smile and says, "What I'm about to share changed my life. And tonight it could change yours." He talks about beating the banks, outsmarting Wall Street, and unlocking a secret algorithm that prints money while you sleep. It's bold. It's impossible. And somehow, it's exactly what they want to hear. Murmurs in the room. Heads nodding. Someone whispers, "We could retire early." You're a single mom scraping by. Or a man who just got laid off. Or a couple staring down a retirement gap they can't close. And here's this man, offering a shortcut. Not a scam, but a solution. But what you don't realize is that this moment, this pitch, this promise, it's not the beginning of a dream. It's the first step into a trap. A slow, sweet fall into something designed to break you. They say the best lies are wrapped in truth, and this one? It comes wrapped in a check. A week passes. Then two. And just like he promised, the money lands. A $10,000 investment becomes $12,000. A family vacation goes from fantasy to booked. A single mother cries in her kitchen, not because she's afraid, but because, for the first time in years, she feels safe. Secure. Like maybe this was the break she prayed for. People call their friends, their siblings, their church group. "I've never seen anything like this," they say. "This guy is real." Word spreads like gospel. Screenshots fly across group chats. Proof. Evidence. See? It's legit. And it's hard to argue with a bank deposit. You hear stories, people pulling from their retirement, others refinancing their homes. Not out of desperation, but ambition. It's working. And when something works, doubt disappears. You stop asking questions. You stop thinking about how he's paying you, because you're just happy that he is. And here's the twist, those early returns? They're real. The money's real. The joy? But the source? That's the lie. Because what no one knows yet is that there's no investment. No secret strategy. No profit. Just new money paying off old promises. A cycle disguised as success. And for a little while, it works beautifully. So beautifully, in fact, that even the early investors, the ones who were cautious at first, now double down. They invest again. They bring others in. They become the biggest believers and the scheme's greatest recruiters. But behind the scenes, the math is already falling apart. The pressure is building. The machine is eating through new deposits faster than it can find them. And somewhere, quietly, the first cracks are beginning to show. And then it explodes. Not in panic. Not in chaos. But in glory. The buzz builds like wildfire in dry wind. What started as quiet referrals becomes a movement. A lifestyle. A badge of honor. He's not just an investor now, he's a financial prophet. The guy who got in early is suddenly hosting webinars. Wearing designer suits. Pulling up in a leased car with the top down and the speakers loud. You don't question him, you envy him. He posts his payment alerts like war trophies. $7,000 this week. While you slept. Followers click. DMs flood in. Everyone wants the link. Everyone wants the cheat code. People start borrowing money to invest. Not because they're desperate, but because they're convinced it's stupid not to. Friends are mortgaging homes, taking out loans, cashing out college funds. It's working, they say. Why not go all in? Churches begin to hold private investment nights. Families pool their savings. Even the cautious, the ones who once raised eyebrows, start sending cash. And no one's looking behind the curtain. No one's asking the one question that matters. Where's the money actually coming from? The con man doesn't have to lie anymore. He doesn't even have to speak. The crowd speaks for him. The community becomes his marketing machine. The fear of missing out becomes more persuasive than any pitch ever could. And the real power? It's not in the scam, it's in the silence. Because when it's working, no one wants to ruin it. When it's paying, no one wants to believe it isn't real. Greed kicks in. Not loud. Not evil. But quiet and seductive, dressed in testimonials and screen grabs and just one more investment. And right there, under the glow of borrowed wealth and viral hype, the scheme reaches its peak. But behind the confidence and luxury, the foundation is already cracking. Because every high in a Ponzi scheme has a price. And someone somewhere is about to pay it. It starts as a whisper, a glitch, a delay, a message that says, funds processing. Please wait. No reason to panic, not yet. These things happen, right? But then it's 2 days, then 5, then 7. The balance is there, but the cash isn't. You send a message. No reply. You check the group chat. Others are asking the same thing. Anyone else having trouble withdrawing? The comments are still polite. Still hopeful. But there's tension in the typing. There's something between the lines. You scroll further. Someone posts, I heard he's traveling. Someone else, relax. It's just a server issue. And then, silence. Admins stop replying. A few accounts disappear. The Instagram page is suddenly under maintenance. The phone number goes straight to voicemail. You check your wallet again. Still frozen. The money's right there, you just can't touch it. And now, doubt creeps in. Quite heavy. You tell yourself it's nothing. But your stomach knows better. Your hands shake a little as you refresh. And again. Still nothing. The group chat turns sour. The same people who praised him last week are now demanding answers. Rumors start to swirl. Someone claims he's been arrested. Someone else says he's fleeing the country. Screenshots surface, bounced checks, fake tax forms, missing names on business registries. The illusion is cracking. People start blaming each other. Fighting. Unfriending. Blocking. The community that once celebrated success is now drowning in silence and suspicion. And through it all, the man behind it is gone. No apology. No explanation. Just absence. A digital ghost. The money? Gone. The dream? Disintegrating. The truth? Finally catching up. Because once withdrawals stop, the story writes itself. It doesn't fall apart quietly. It crashes. But violent. Unforgiving. The website is gone. The app won't open. The company hotline plays a single beep before disconnecting. Investors refresh their screens only to be greeted by a message they never imagined they'd see. This site no longer exists. Panic spreads like fire in a locked room. Phone calls. Screams. Sleepless nights. People rush to the office, but it's empty. The glass doors are locked. The name has been scraped off the wall. He's gone. Vanished. With everything. And then, the authorities arrive. Federal agents storm the office. Files seized. Servers unplugged. Cameras flash. The man who once promised freedom is now in handcuffs, head down, flanked by FBI agents. His face, once on every marketing flyer, now stares from a mugshot. Caught. The news runs wild. Anchors say words like fraud, millions missing, life sentences. The community is stunned, but not surprised, because in their hearts, they already knew. And yet, it still feels like betrayal. Some victims scream outside the courthouse. Others sob in their cars. Families break apart over what they invested. Churches are split. Marriages fracture. Bank accounts are drained. Jobs are quit and now gone. For some, the collapse isn't just financial, it's spiritual. And in the middle of it all is one brutal realization. It was never real. There was no investment, no secret strategy, just money taken from one dreamer and handed to another until the last dollar ran dry. The empire that looked so perfect was hollow from the start, and now the dust begins to settle. But the damage? That's only beginning. When the dust settles, there's no applause, no closure, just silence. The checks are gone. The dashboard's wiped. The promise dead. But the damage? That's just beginning. This isn't about numbers anymore. It's about people. A retired schoolteacher who trusted a friend and lost her pension. A father who borrowed against his home, now sleeping on his sister's couch. A single mom who invested her child's college fund and now can't pay rent. Lives cracked open like eggshells. And they all ask the same question. How did I not see it? But shame shouldn't belong to the victim. It belongs to the liar. The man who smiled in their faces. The man who knew it was a house of cards and kept collecting bets anyway. Families stop talking. Communities turn cold. Pastors are questioned. Group chats dissolve into silence. Some lose their homes. Others lose their faith. And a few, quietly, lose the will to keep going. For the scammer, maybe it's 10 years behind bars. But for the victims, it's a life sentence of trying to rebuild trust, rebuild savings, rebuild self-worth. They don't want revenge. They want their peace back. They want to unsign the papers, unclick the transfer, undo the night they said yes. But they can't, because Ponzi schemes don't just take your money. They take your hope, your time, your future. And in some cases, your identity. And maybe worst of all, they make you believe it was your fault. You've seen how it begins, with a smile, a promise, a payout. You've watched it grow, powered by trust, silence, and greed. And you've seen how it ends, in collapse, confusion, and pain. But the question now is, how do you stop it before it starts? Because the truth is, Ponzi schemes don't wear warning labels. They wear suits. They show you bank alerts. They speak like friends. But no matter how clever the disguise, the patterns don't lie. So here's how you protect yourself. If it offers guaranteed high returns, walk away. If there's no real product or service, walk away. If the business model is based on bringing in others, walk away. If you can't explain it to a 10-year-old without using buzzwords like passive income, exclusive access, or algorithm, walk away. And if withdrawing your money suddenly becomes difficult, delayed, or discouraged, run. Ask questions. Real ones. Where is the money coming from? Are there audited statements? Is this company registered with the SEC? What happens if no one new signs up next month? Because the best defense isn't luck. It's knowledge. And courage. The courage to say no. The courage to ask what others are afraid to. The courage to protect your future, even when everyone around you is chasing shortcuts. Ponzi schemes thrive on silence, on fear, on people who ignore their instincts. So trust your gut. Ask the hard questions. And never let anyone rush you into something that sounds too perfect. Because the next victim doesn't have to be you. So many never saw it coming. They were mothers, fathers, teachers, veterans, first-time investors. They believed in something that looked like hope and ended in heartbreak. And for some, the recovery never comes. But maybe it's not too late for someone else. Maybe the next person can avoid the trap if they see this. Maybe you sharing this could save a life. This story is real. This story repeats. But it can be stopped. if this story moved you, if it taught you something, don't leave in silence. Drop a comment below. Share your thoughts, your pain, or just a warning someone else might need to hear. Give this video a like. It tells the platform this story matters. And if you believe in protecting people from financial greed, subscribe to Money Traps. Turn on notifications so you never miss another true story that could save someone from making a mistake they'll never undo. Because the best protection is knowing the truth before the lie finds you.